What kind of monk are they interviewing? A fake monk?
It's an contemporary monk, bro.
Oh, bro.
Urban monk.
That's why you're in Kali Yuga, man. This what happens.
It so happens that we're in Kali Yuga and we're interviewing this special monk.
This makes what? My face look better?
No,
Hey, boy.
it makes it look worse because it's a wide.
Makes it wider?
Yeah, it makes the frame wider,
Ah.
but it's good because we can have like a little bit of space.
Yeah, you don't need to be... Maybe you got to buy something so you can make it here and you just walk like this.
You're the second person. Diego Paul said the same thing. Maybe you need a contraption to keep your arm. And
you already interviewed him? I didn't see it coming out.
I'm just editing now.
Oh yeah, putting the special effects.
Putting the filters to make him look pretty.
It might be warm and I need to take stuff out in the middle of the way, not fully.
I don't know, you improvise.
Yeah. Maybe before you start, you let me know. And you do some...
we started.
This is already going?
It's going.
Okay, bro, this is going. This is not like this. You need to pray before we go. We are spiritual people.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. Om. 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 Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sadguru Swami Vishwananda Maharaj Ki Jai. Now we can start.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
Amazing. We have Sudama with us and I'm quite excited because I heard a little bit of your story and I'm sure that it's gonna be such an interesting perspective because sometimes we have this preconception that things need to be spectacular, you need big explosions, you need some big revelation, but we forget that life happens sometimes step by step, and all these steps amount to a big change. So I'm really curious how it all started for you. Peacocks
everywhere.
Peacocks everywhere, and you said that it started somehow, your first seva was in the garden.
Yeah, when I got here in SPN, it's where I started, about, I would say 1.5 years ago. I lost kind of the track of time. Here time goes a bit different. It was around Navaratri 2022, so I would say around 1.5 years, yeah. A bit unexpected. I would say working in the garden is not quite my special skill, but let's say it's a place where many people start in the ashram, and it's actually very nice. It was good for me to understand that the body is also important. We have been talking a little bit about that.
Yes.
And also to get in touch with nature, and it was nice, really nice start.
But how did you ended up here? So tell us through the whole story, where it all started. Like, you can go as far back as you need.
Okay.
Let's make a timeline to see how your journey started, and we go through these amazing gates.
So we are now opening the gates of past.
So it's a metaphor, bro. It's a nice symbol. Look at it.
Let's go then to the past. We are spiritual people, so technically we live in the present. But I was thinking actually about when I spoke last time, and it was interesting because when you shared a little bit what was the point or the main idea, I started to reflect on a little bit on my life, and there was this sense of appreciation and starting to see how things somehow ended up bringing me to this point.
Let's go this way.
Yeah, and yeah, it brought me also to the sense of appreciating the present, I mean. And it was a really nice. I didn't think much about it, I have to be honest. So I just got some seconds where I started to see, oh, there were many things happening, little things which brought me here today, but I didn't go into it, and I left the process, so we do it now. So they keep it natural, walking in the nature.
Yeah.
So how it started, I think I had a pretty much normal life, I would say. I would say I had a good childhood, I have a good family. Christian brought up, I would say. Everything pretty much normal. Nothing specifically spiritual. I went to this, what's its name in English, when you have this like Sunday class or Saturday class in the where you learn stuff about the Bible.
Yes, like a Sunday school in the
Yeah,
church.
Portuguese is cateches. I don't know the name.
Catechesa.
Yeah, you know, Romanian is, you know what.
Yeah. Yeah, we have some common roots there.
Roots. And I remember I enjoyed it actually. I remember that I've probably enjoyed more than the other kids because they were not so keen on it. I also remember that there was a point in my life, I would say, when I started to get a bit older, where I just started to enjoy more to watch Dragon Ball in the TV.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, and this was like a conflict because I think it was in the same time. Then I had and I just things evolved. I don't know, in a way, in my life where I understood I was more interested in these things than to actually go. And there was a point, actually it was about like 11 years, which is the last year, I remember this, which you have it calls in Portuguese Crisma, I don't know the name, where you get like this after 11 years, this like blessing or whatever it is. It's like you successfully finished your
first stage
of education.
You can choose where to go next.
And I remember I just thought, I'm not doing this sincerely. What is even the point when I'm not even feeling the connection or whatever it was back then? So I'm just gonna not do this. And it was like a couple of months before, maybe I just could have done it very easily, but I just dropped it. And
so you didn't go through the process?
No,
because you felt like it's not for you, because you're not honest in it, you didn't feel it.
I just was not. What is the point of doing this if I'm not connecting with this in some way? It was not so much a deep decision. I was just okay. I'm not interested to do other stuff. I'm not so engaged or with this, so I just okay. I'm not gonna do it. What is the point to have to commit myself with God or whatever it is if I'm not? It's not
heartfelt.
Yeah, it didn't make much sense. And I think it just also came along with, I think when we are little we have some sort of purity, or maybe we have more expression of our nature, and I was quite, for what I remember, a more reserved person. But I was good with it. I was in some sense of peace. But I think along the way I started to develop the tendency to want to be like the cool guy, or want to be a different person, because then you don't get the girls, or people don't like you, or whatever. And I always had this pattern when I was not let's say the cool guy. I had okay relationships, but I think along the way these things started to come into play. And yeah, it's interesting because today, especially since I became a monk, I see myself so much going back, and I see that the nature where I'm actually calmer, where I'm actually more connected with myself, is when I have more this, let's say, original way of being, let's say. And life went on. Eventually, I think around 13, I would say, I had depression. I think it happens with many people.
It's that teenage existential crisis, you might say.
A lot of discussion, fight with my parents. Many, of course, I see now that I was just provoking and creating chaos without need. Many also see that there are things to work on between parents and kids, and I think many people go for it.
I think that's a pretty common stage for most young adults.
Then normal things come. I started to experiment with other things, like drugs. I didn't went very far in, let's say. I mean, I went too far, I would say, but just far enough, I would say. So today I'm here, but I didn't go so extreme like many people do. But yeah, the normal, let's say, normal thing, which is the marijuana or this kind of stuff, 1 or 2 times, a bit more, but it was a 1-2 time thing, because I knew if I would do it, I would be So there was some inner wisdom somewhere there, I had to say. And yeah, this kind of made the process go more into negativity. But today I see also many good things that say in this, because this was kind of the time, 16, where somehow I didn't have interest at all in music. And I just somehow developed this fun power with rock and roll, like classic rock, this kind of stuff. Then
what was your band?
I would say Pink Floyd would be like the Led Zeppelin, this kind of stuff. Everything that was like good rock. I went actually to metal. I listened to a lot of things. But what I see today also is, because that's why I don't listen anymore to it, is there is this...
It has this energy inside.
This energy also, I agree, but also the state of mind which I was there is brought back as I listen to it. So it's the Pink Floyd is so beautiful. But if I listen to it, I go back to this stage or this feeling of the, and I don't want to do that because there is no profit into it.
Yes.
So I just don't really engage. Even the music.
It's interesting how it activates. It activates that. I listened recently. I went down the memory lane and I listened to a band that I really loved back then. It's called Sigur Rós. It's an amazing.
I think.
Yeah.
That's like metal or something like that.
No, it's like an
folk or.
It's a different world. Sigur.
I know I think it is a famous band.
It's super famous, but it's Nordic, and they
oh yeah,
they sing in a language that they invented. It's called Hoplanding. It's not Icelandic. It's Hoplanding, and I was listening to their major tracks, and all those feelings that I had when I was listening, they came back on, and I was like, whoa, but I thought I passed this stage. And I was like, oh, seems like they are still there, ready to be activated, and and if you're not careful, you can go back in that state. It modifies your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, everything. Because music is really powerful.
Yeah, I notice myself two senses which are really powerful, at least in terms of this super quick bringing you back to some emotional memories or whatever, which are the listening part, the music, and the sense of smell. For me, these two are like, it just automatically brings you.
Go back.
And yeah, I personally start to take care, because I was also, meanwhile, in the beginning of when I met Guruji and I was starting the path, I was kind of around that time or a bit before starting to try to play some bands and this kind of stuff, because I was looking to see if music would be some path to go in life, and this would be the point where I tried it. And yeah, I had a little bit of this experience, and I just understood it didn't make sense to be in the stage, and in this point it was like pretending too much. I was just not connecting. And when it's about kirtan and bhakti marga, you might not be in a good mood, but you're still gonna do it, and you have the feeling that it's something you want to do, that you need to do, that you enjoy to do many times.
And it has a positive effect no matter what your state of mind is.
It's what we are. I really believe it. More than enjoying is our nature, is what we are here to do. And this thing I was doing, it was just no point, and I just there was a point where I dropped it completely. And I understood that even these projects were going good, there was a point where the thing crashed. People would not go to the practice, or there was some difficulties or whatever, or I was just simply not enjoying and forcing myself to go into it.
So you tried to start a band or something, or
I joined one like pop bands, this kind of stuff I was supporting. It was good because I bought my guitar and I got some experience with it. Yeah, in group, because I play in the house for some years. I started a bit late, 16. This is how I started the music journey. I was quite late, I have to say, and only like 18 actually, because I joined university and we had a music group there, traditional music. So that's where basically my musical education really got, because we had at least 2 practices a week, sometimes more, we'd play on the streets, we played actually in some theaters, and it was actually something with commitment. And also interesting because we had like this system, maybe you connect it with this American thing with fraternity, where you have like the old guys, and you need to do what they tell you, then you become the old guy, but you always have...
initiating the young guys into the...
Yeah, and this actually came after this, let's say, depression stage. I would go back some minutes in the talk, basically where I remember I was basically playing computer and this like staying up late and yeah, just no idea what I wanted to do in life. I was so shut down. I remember like people spoke with me and sometimes I took like, I don't know how many seconds, 10 seconds until my brain processed your sentence, like, do you want a coffee? And I was like, huh? And then somehow my brain, it was like so, and it was not just the drugs, it was just disconnected, I think, from reality. And I remember, there was actually some small moments. We were speaking about the guitar, and I was already with these not so good companies in this, especially in these last years, where I was in a private school, and people with money doesn't necessarily meet better people, and they would actually engage more, and they stimulated me. And of course, I did it because I wanted, yeah. But I remember there was a point when I was getting sick of all of this, and there was a decision because my mother told me I wanted a guitar, and she was like, no you don't, or you need to make sure what you want, like holding back the thing. And there was the option to go to this trip where you finish the year, or get a guitar. And I basically took the decision, I want the guitar, I don't want to go more to this. And I think because I had one day where I just drank too much, I smoked too much, everything was like going, spinning, helicopters, this kind of thing. And there was something in me which started to reject this. And I remember this summer after, because I started to take also distance from these people. I remember one day which I woke up, I don't know exactly how, where, when, but I had this thought like, if this is life, I don't want to live like this anymore, because there is no point. Just so much negativity, no point in living, or people are all wrong, or nobody is good, I don't know. Just whatever it was, there was no point in me to live, I would say. And there was a point where kind of I remember there was like a division, and I didn't have a holy life after this, but it just was something very simple. I remember I started waking up, not too late, like not 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. This would be like, I don't know, 9, 10, 11, something not horrible, I would say, to the pattern I had back then. And I would just wake up, have breakfast, and call a guy there, which was being my friend back then. We'd go to the coffee, we'd smoke some cigars. I kind of almost stopped doing the drugs, and I was drinking from time to time. But this was my routine, waking up, not going to the computer, and going to the coffee, speaking with a person, and just slowly trying to get out of the pool of mud. And this was basically a summer where, as I said, I didn't have a sattvic lifestyle. I went out, I was doing this kind of life which is not good, but still, if I compare it, I was somehow putting myself in a less low state. And I think that was good, because then I went to university, I was engaged in this like fraternity style tradition which there is, and I kind of was forced to deal with people, and I was in a state actually where I was more open to be with people, to have friendships. And this was a good stage, I would say, because I could connect with people. We went through a lot of stuff together, good stuff, not so good stuff, because sometimes these pranks would go over limits. But it was a really nice experience. The first 3 years in university, in dentist university I pretty much did 1 year in free. I have to tell you, to be honest, because most of my time I was engaged in this music group and other activities connected with this tradition. But definitely it was important, because when I think about Bhakti Marga, we kind of have an alternative system. If you kind of think we are connected with each other, we also have people that have their life, but at the same time they have a different reality, let's say, in their heart or in their house. Or there is also Swamis, there is also Guruji, and we also want to follow what he says because we believe in him. And somehow these systems, which were really not so spiritual or perfect, they kind of started to prepare myself to be here today. For example, I don't have much problem today if somebody comes, a Swami or somebody, tells me, take care of this way, and if I don't agree, I don't have so much problem to fix the world, and I just, okay, you are my boss, I see what you're telling me to do, I just do it. And this is something amazing, because I see many people which struggle in the spiritual path. They have to do it right, they fight, and of course
they struggle accepting other people's opinion and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was really nice this happening. Meanwhile, of course, I had to take a decision. I started to do the course, 3 years together, sometimes the 4 years together. It was a big mess. I started to do the clinic with patients. I started actually to enjoy it, and I was getting very competent in it. Although I have to say I didn't study much. It was always in the last minute because of, yeah. But yeah, I had some, it was easy, let's say, for me to catch up. Then again, I had some specific disciplines I had to do, and I didn't do them. So I was like forbidden to treat patients. I had to be like 1 year stopping. I actually started to work, and I did some other exams which I could do. And it was again positive because I started to work in something new, and it was a new dynamic. But at the same time, it kind of brought me in this state where I was like, I don't want to be dentist anymore. And
really?
This was like a little bit what happened, because you start to get some money, you start to work in other stuff. And I actually, for me, it's easy to adapt, and I can do many things. Like I can work with different things. And yeah, it just, I got back to university, not so good because I stopped working for 1 year. And it didn't go so well. I had like 2 patients maybe which didn't go well. One of them was a kid that was like drama. It was not so bad, but the mother did drama. I was not in a good state, probably already bringing to me the problems that I was in my mind. But anyway, I really say by miracle, and because Guruji, I believe, really wanted me to finish the course, I finished it on the last moment with the last disciplines, and boom. And then I was like, okay, I did my duty. Because it was like chaos. Like I was supposed to give the thesis, I didn't give it because I was like having a trip, and I was like thinking it would be fine. It was the next year I barely delivered it with the help of people, otherwise I would be completely but I did it. And in the end I was like, I was already devotee in the last year. I was already not drinking, not vegetarian. We can also go a little bit about this if you want. And I finished the course, and I was like, I don't feel like working. And I started working in other stuff, like washing cars or selling phone plans. Like
you studied to be a dentist, and you ended up washing cars.
Yeah, but I was actually fine. I was doing my spiritual practices, and I was feeling okay, like mostly.
How did you? Because now you jumped a little bit to you are already a devotee. How did you become a devotee then?
Oh la la.
Yeah, but this is the juicy stuff.
This is not structure. This is not German way. Kein Struktur.
Kein Struktur.
This is not good. Okay, so let's go back to the.
Yeah, let's go back to how you heard about Guruji. What happened with your life and how it changed, because you finished your university after you became a devotee. This is what you're saying.
Yeah, there was this period. I was in university for a period of 9 years, let's say. So it was
you took your time, basically.
I took my time to learn it properly. Let's say usually it would be 5 years. I took 9. 10 would be the shame. So it was 1 year before the.
That's the limit of shame.
And
okay, if you reach 10, then you.
Yeah, and in the last year I was not. I was already devotee, but I was basically following Guruji. Basically, it happened because I was in a relationship, and this person, meanwhile, was devotee. And what happened is I was, like I told you, not going to church, not thinking about God in any way. I was having nice friendships, enjoying, drinking, having fun,
living
basically.
Your life, yeah.
Yeah, and what happened is, meanwhile, she was devotee initiated. I remember I had a conversation. I was, okay, it's fine. If this is not affecting my life, I don't care, which was my mood back then. And I was not so open-minded, so this was already a good sign, I would say. And what just happened is I started to make some questions, like, what is your belief? And she would tell me something. And in my mind I would think about the idea, and I would try to see why is it right or possibly wrong, and this kept going. I remember I tried to do the mantra sometimes, but mostly it was I didn't have faith, or let's say by itself. I was just testing and test proofing, because I think in back of my mind I was looking for something when I see my life and how I engage in this, and I was basically, it was somehow meant to be, let's say, an alternative way to live. I would say. I see it now, not necessarily back then. And yeah, it started going little by little. I remember one day while I was eating my pasta with cow meat, ground out called bolognese. How you call this in English?
Bolognese.
Bolognese. And I don't know, I had the feeling I was getting sick, like some, you know, like when you're cold and you feel like these chills.
Yeah.
I had the feeling like I was eating and this kind of chill was coming in my body. And very rarely I have this experience of, I don't have, but I was like, shoot, I don't think this is random. From now I don't eat more pig and more cow meat. This was like my
your
setting.
resolution. Okay.
It didn't last long. It's like New Year, you know, you promised, but after 2 weeks you're back, diet is gone. And I was like, oh, maybe this was something in my mind and it was not real or whatever. It's maybe, yeah. And I just went back to it. And again, I don't know, not so much longer later, like I would say 1 week, 2 weeks, I don't know. I was again coming back from this group with let's say the fraternity traditional thing. The same thing late, heating up in the microwave, the same food my mother did, and I was eating and exactly the same feeling. And I was like, shoot, this is not a coincidence, this really stops now.
No.
And it was a little bit how it stopped the vegetarian part, I would say, because after not so long, I stopped eating also the white meats, then I stopped eating fish, eggs, and this was like a process like 6 months, I would say, where basically I was vegan. And this is all before I met Guruji. I didn't meet Guruji so far. So this is the part...
your girlfriend was vegetarian.
Yeah, she
was.
was.
She was a devotee.
She was a devotee already in this time, yeah. And
Interesting.
then you had the other part, which is the drinking part. And as you know, drinking drugs is not part of our lifestyle, and we have reasons for it. But back then it was pretty much the part where the fun or the
social interaction.
it was around this kind of thing, and I actually taught all these people to drink and to engage in these things. And it's funny, in the last year I was not drinking, taking care of them and advising them, maybe you should not drink or drink less, or it's funny how life changes. And this drinking part was actually a very amazing experience, because I remember one day, I'm not sure if I drank too much or not, but for sure I was with this group of people. Maybe I drank something, but I'm not sure if I went to this state of too much, let's say. And I was dreaming, and in this dream I remember my life was completely ruined because of alcohol. Something like a car crash, my family was destroyed and blaming me, or something like this, you know.
Dramatic.
Yeah, something like this. And I woke up like so stressed, because it was, I don't know if you experience, sometimes I dream and I wake up like it's real.
Yeah.
And it was so real, I'm now even feeling the chills. Like it was so real that I was like so distressed, like amazing. And I was like, shoot, and I could not, and I'm just going to go back to sleep. I went back to sleep. And the same thing continued. And this thing, I don't know how many times it repeated. I woke up and I went back, trying to back to sleep. I don't know how many times, 3, 4, 5.
You went in the same dream over and over
continuously.
Wow.
And I just, at the point I was just so crazy, I just stood up and I went to the living room. I maybe was drinking a glass of water. And I told my friends, since this day I don't drink anymore. And they were laughing at me. They were like laughing because, you know, I was basically instructing them in the art. And the truth is I never drank since that day anymore. Like, boom.
You just quit.
Yeah, that day I never anymore. And it was just like simple like this. And I smoked like 1 or 2 times maybe marijuana, but then even that stopped, because when you start to change these things, vegetarian, drinking, your mind starts to change. You start to see. You also probably went through the process, and you know that there is a change in your mind, in your body. And if you are in a moment where you need to engage with Guruji in spiritual life, something aligns. I don't know. Today I see this like as a clear preparation. When I met Guruji, I was basically already in the conditions basically to be a devotee. I was already
fulfilling the basic
basic bodily requirements, let's say. And this happened like in a period of 6 months, I would say. More by the Christmas, I was already vegetarian. I remember I was eating some lasagna. And then I was doing this part-time job. I told you, this part-time job. It was in recruitment, also another area. And I basically got fired. I was not having results, and I remember
You were a dentist, basically.
I was doing some things in university while I was drinking still a lot back then. No, this time I was already not drinking. It was by the end. So basically, I started this job in this lifestyle. In the middle, I stopped somewhere, and more by the end, I would say. Yeah, by the end. And what happened is that I got fired, and I was thinking, okay, I had this feeling like like when something sticks to you and doesn't go. Sometimes I'm stubborn, but this really was strong. And I was like, okay, my life in this moment I can see possibilities. There is like, I can go here, I can go there. And I was like, I want to know if this thing of your guru or whatever is something for me or not. Because I see possibilities now, I don't have job. This is like a moment I can change direction. And I was like, speaking with back then my girlfriend, she was like, oh, maybe we can go, because she just went for something in the darshan. I think it was a woman darshan or something like that exists in the Christmas or something like that.
At the end of the year, it's woman.
And because she spent a lot of money, she didn't have much, and I was like, I want to go now. And she said, oh, we can go. No, I want to go now. I was like, very. And she somehow, I don't remember what happened. Somehow she got the money, or it came. And there was place, and there was a flight or whatever, so like things were arranged like, and I was on the way. And yeah, that was my first contact with Bhakti Marga. The only thing I had before was when I saw one time in the car with Tilak, and my mind was like, don't you ever come again like this in front of me. This was like, I was just so shocked, you know. But
what are you doing with that paint?
Like, what? And I was like, were you killing chickens and doing some black magic? I was like, my mind was just going crazy. Yeah, you know how it is. We are ignorant. And yeah, I see she has a lot of patience. I don't know if I would have the same patience if I would be on her side. Probably not, to be honest. But that's how things go. And yeah, I had my first darshan. Yeah.
When was it? What year was this?
2021, January.
2021. Wow.
So it's about 3
years ago.
No. Sorry, Guruji. My mind. 2018. January 2018. Sorry.
Okay.
And this was my first darshan. I came with.
You came here?
Yeah, I came straight to SPN. I didn't visit nothing. I had no contact, basically. It was the first contact, I would say. And it was by itself another interesting experience, because I came here, I had some expectations. Somehow my mindset was, if this guru, this person is a spiritual advanced or a God realized person or is something divine, I came already with this, I want to see it and experience it. So I take a decision, yeah, basically show me, because I want to know if I want to do this with my life or not, basically, because I had somehow the open possibility in my brain, which is already amazing. So I came, I go to the airport, I remember it was Premji receiving me, Tilak in his face, I was like, oh shoot, what the hell did I do? I go in the car and like it got even more weird, like talking about opening the heart and love and stuff like this. I was like, what the hell is this guy talking about? I kind of fought with him like, no bro, what are you talking about? I don't come with these things in my brain.
Yeah.
And I came here, again, the same second shock, like everybody's sorry, Tilak, but the same time, I have to tell you, being honest, I was feeling quite comfortable, which is already a miracle, because I had no contact with this stuff. I didn't see much about it. And yeah, I was enjoying knowing the place. I felt I was feeling good energies and stuff like this. Maybe I was just ungrounded or whatever, I don't know, we never know. But then I remember I went to darshan, and as soon as Guruji came in the room, my feelings of being connected or whatever just disappeared. It was like everything just was removed somehow. I don't even tell you. I don't know if I had some feeling or just my mind trying to validate something I wanted to confirm. But I remember when he came in the room, it just whatever connection feeling I was having was starting to disappear and just become very normal. But now I look back, I don't know how many hours, and you know a darshan can last 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
And I was sitting alone in the Prabhu, because usually women and men sit separately, usually. There are reasons for that, usually in temples that is the tradition. And I was sitting alone actually, and there was a Portuguese guy, which today is the Portuguese coordinator of the country actually. And we spoke a little bit, but I was pretty much alone. And I had no clue what people were singing, like I had no clue at all. But I think I was there like 3-4 hours and it was fine. Now I look back, I didn't think the time was passing so much. I just was there chilling. I didn't annoy so much my girlfriend back then. There was a point where, oh, we need to go for darshan. So I go in line, I take my glasses out, I have darshan. Remember Guruji asked me, what is your name, where you come from? I was like, okay. This person is asking me where I come from and what is my name, what is the point. My girlfriend was really happy. I didn't understand very much why. It's just asking me where I come from and what is my name, like what's so special about it. And what I really take from this darshan, it was not so positive, I have to tell. At least my feeling was not positive, because it was so, it's like, imagine yourself, like you look in the eyes of somebody, it is so intimate, it's so strong. I would say like like almost sexual thing, or like it's so, I don't know what to explain. This would be like the first layer, but when I think back, it was just, I was so uncomfortable, and I believe because I felt somehow my being that he was saying too much. Too much that I was uncomfortable, and just was like, and this actually took some time, like 2-3 darshans, until I really start to be okay with the fact, with this. I got out of the darshan and I was quite frustrated, I have to tell you, because as I told you, the expectation I had was to validate something. And I was like here, sitting in the hall, waiting, because we didn't have room, we were making time. The whole night I was like, what do I do with this now? Because I don't have an experience, I don't have nothing, what?
I don't have a confirmation for what I was searching for.
And I remember, like, by the end of the evening, before we went to the airport, again, a thought pops in my mind, and it sticked. And I look back again, I don't think this came from my great spiritual advancement, because for sure it was not there. Maybe Guruji put it in my brain, I don't know, maybe my soul, I don't know what it was. But I remember to think, I came very arrogant here. Because if he's a real master, I came to somehow to demand something. This came in my mind, and I didn't have much education or nothing about it. And I thought, if I would come like this, if I wouldn't be in this position, what I would give to this person would be exactly no experience, because of his
arrogance.
Yeah, and I was thinking, okay, I think I will go to the temple now every week and I will check how it goes. And I don't know what the hell happened. I just canceled. Every Thursday we had this practice in these groups. I was committed. I was actually the year before the responsible of this group, and I just said I don't come anymore because Thursdays I have temple, and I never went again. I never compromised. So I put my foot on the temple, my feet in the temple, and since the day one I started playing guitar, and this is how it started basically. By
doing prayers and
going to prayers, being with devotees, and yeah, things took their time. I was so close-minded, I was so negative, let's say, so stubborn, so many things like I thought I had to be, yeah, this relationship was also not good for me, for the person, so there was things to be worked on the way also. So things kind of went their way to the point where, I don't know, I had the feeling that I belonged to Guruji. I didn't have a feeling, I didn't have this experience, like, and this was something that disturbed me so much in the beginning, because you know, many people meet Guruji, they see a deity, their heart explodes, they cry for 2 hours. I didn't have this at all. I just felt my life was changing in a positive way. I just saw myself getting better with some things, and I had the feeling somehow like that I belong to him. So I remember I went to the devotee course, and basically did the devotee course, and basically was initiated as devotee, and my mindset was still, I will figure it out this later. Because I somehow, and
so honest, so true.
Somehow I was like, I know I belong to you, I don't feel it, but there will be a time where these things will get clear. This was, and if I look again now, these small things, this is a miracle by itself, because I was basically trying to go into other people's experience, and what I see, one quality I have is some sort of really strong determination and faith, which doesn't have necessarily
Doesn't need
a reason.
Yeah.
It's just,
It is there.
I don't know, yeah. And somehow this kept me going for some years, and I was initiated, and things went slowly. I did the practices, as we all do, Kriya Japa, yeah, and things went their way.
And you just observe the improvement, just observe the change. And basically it's
Just logically could see myself changing. I was not reacting in the same way, I was changing. Of course, it took more time than I wanted. And when I look back, I also didn't like myself. I thought I needed to be fixed, or this kind of mentality, you know, that I think all of us go through eventually, or maybe not everybody has this perception and suffers a lot. And I had a lot this thing, I need to fix myself and change. And yeah, this took some years, and probably just now, after 6 years, especially since I became a monk, I really start to appreciate my capacities, my good ones, and I stick to them as much as I can, and I use them in my service. And also my not so good ones, I need to work with them, and they also have utilities. And we need to know how to balance and to dance between these two things. And this, I believe, is what Guruji means by be yourself. You need to be yourself. And of course we go like spiritual talking, oh, we are the soul, not the body. But I have been feeling that we all are born with certain characteristics which God gave us, which make part of our play, and we need to dance with them, we need to express them. So if I'm a person that has this determination, or if has this way, like I cannot rest if I need to do something, if I feel, I just do it. I just don't need to be, oh, we need to be relaxed in the spiritual path, we need to be chill. It's not my nature, maybe it's your nature, or other person's nature. And this was something so difficult for me to accept, because I was trying to be a little bit like others. And what happened is, I always struggle to understand why other people, why they are devotees for so many years. Why cannot they just do Kriya every day? This is insane. But then with time I started to understand they actually had many things, many qualities which I didn't have, and I just started, it took me a lot of time, but I started to develop respect also for other people's ways, and really focusing on myself and my relationship with God, my relationship with our Guru. But this took its time, I have to say. And yeah, there was I would say a very important turning point, which was there was a surprise darshan in Portugal, I remember it. And Guruji came, I don't know if it was 2020, it was like a big thing. We were like having a call with him in the video, Swami Niruddha was teasing us, and then it just pops up in the end of the room, and everyone goes like crazy, like, you know.
How that surprise when he never told anyone that
just come. Like what two people knew basically. And it was, I don't know if you saw videos of the Beatles. The Beatles,
I saw.
If you see Beatles coming the stage, people are like, ah, like going crazy nuts, throwing themselves on the floor, and it is the most close description I can give you. And it was like this thing. And I remember my state back then was I looked to him like without any emotion. I just looked to him and I said, this is Guruji, I'm a devotee, I'm technically should bow down, so I bowed down like a robot, and I was like, now we need to sing some bhajans, and we did it, and I was like not feeling nothing, not feeling happy, and seeing everybody in ecstasy. And this disturbed me so much, like I was super distressed, like what is wrong with me? I'm devotee, I gave my life to this person, and I don't feel nothing when it does like, which basically, next day, thank God, there was a satsang, which is something where he allows us to make questions. And I asked this question, why does a devotee sincerely tries to do everything, everyday Kriya stuff, and it just cannot develop his relationship with God and Guru? It was an honest question, because I was disturbed, and this was the problem I was trying to fix the whole time. And it just basically said, this problem has origin in comparison, when you compare with other people. Also, there is a time for this relationship to come, was basically the main answer. So somehow I was like, that came in some, okay, I need to relax and to accept myself. There was, meanwhile, in Navaratri, we are in Navaratri, which I was so negative, I was just judging everybody, because I was not good in myself. And a devotee kind of pointed this out. And I was so uncomfortable, but after I was like, okay, I try to be spiritual, I try to meet God, I try to do all this stuff. At least that was what I was thinking. And I just didn't make peace with myself. And Guruji speaks about it all the time, and it was so clear. I need to take care of my own, like they say, my own shit.
Yeah.
And I just started to go to prayers. If it didn't feel like smiling, I just didn't smile. If I didn't feel like being nice to a devotee, I went to this extreme. Whatever is happening, I will not try to fake it. It is like this, I'm like this. And of course, this brings some challenges to other people. It brings you don't like, also because of your ego, to be unpleasant or to be seen in a certain way. But this really started to bring me some peace. Eventually, things like kept going. I had a talk with Guruji in the middle. He basically told me, oh, I'm ruining the microphone.
Self-conscious because of his...
I saw the look.
Yeah,
I saw the look. And
no problem, bro.
What happened basically was I came for Just Love, and I came like, I was doing these jobs, like I told you, like the telecommunications, selling phones, and I was feeling good, but at the same time, something in me was not in peace because I had a guru and I didn't ask me if I could change this thing in my life. So I was like, I have time, I came for Just Love and other things. It was like a 2 weeks period. Or no, I came for Just Love, and there was like something I would come back later. I don't know what it was. And last day, just a sense of urgency. Woke up and I was like, I need to ask now. Because I was being arrogant, like trying to run away. We have time. If he really wants to ask me, this kind of thing. And I just, urgency came, and I just lost completely my composure, and I became like these people which follow Guruji like crazy, not in a crazy state, but doing the same behavior, like going after him when he was to dinner, and I was waiting in the door. And Jaitraya, the security, was looking to me, and I remember telling, bro, I'm not crazy, I just want to speak with Guruji. Yeah, and I was like this the whole time, and I remember that, and every time I felt there was a little moment, I was like hesitant, the pride was there, blocking me, I think. And there was like probably I could, maybe not, I don't know, but there was maybe chance to try, and I didn't properly try. And there was this last moment where I was going away, and evening, and it was like a movie, insane. Like it was like having dinner, and I was in the door, and people start like singing bhajans and stuff, like these wheels, like ho ho, in the middle, guys dancing like breakdance. It's like an American movie. Imagine everybody like, oh, God, Radhe, Radhe, whoa, whoa, like dancing like crazy. And then Guruji comes out, and I looked to him, and there was this block, I didn't speak, and then he goes out running like very fast. He gets in the golf car and he goes. And I was like, I lost my chance. I was so sad. I was like sitting like, man. And meanwhile, I think I prayed before to Divine Mother, because it says if you pray to Divine Mother, she cannot deny.
Yeah.
Something like this. And somehow Guruji came back later. After like some minutes, he came back. And he went to another place, Light Hall. In my mind, it was like, Divine Mother, you will not go away before talking to me. This is not gonna happen. I remember I just stood up. I don't know how many people, there is a lot of people, 100, 200 people. Yeah. And Guruji came out of the door and just said, Guruji, I didn't see anyone else. And I just started to speak with him in the middle of the crowd. And then I asked about this dentist thing. He looked to the sky, he went to this dimension, and he told me, you will love to be dentist. And then he went. And I remember I felt such a relief, because he was telling me, it's fine, go this way, it will be good for you. And funny enough, because my girlfriend back then was also dentist, and she asked him the same question some months before, and he asked him, you have to love to be dentist. So it was like funny, and yeah, I felt huge relief. Then the mind kicked in. I was not so sure about it, and yeah, then COVID came. You could no longer see appointments, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it was not, I was feeling the guiltiness of not being able to do it. But then let's say I did a very crazy action, which was, there was like this pilgrimage in Mauritius, and back then I had no money. I think I had like 200 euros in my account. I just bought a car, with my parents basically bought a car, which I insisted, because I needed the car, because there's not so many jobs in Portugal, and usually you need to go a bit far out if you want to have a job. So I was like, the reason I don't have a job is because I don't have a car. So this was like what
the excuse.
And like 2 weeks after, a devotee messages me and she says, oh, there is this pilgrimage. Do you want to come? And I told her, no, I just bought a car. This is not responsible because we are dharmic people. We need to respect our duties. And it was like that. It was fine. And she messaged me also again after some days. I finished my career or something like this. And I had an audio from her already for some hours. I knew she was I was like, I don't feel like listening. I just pressed play and I listened. And I don't know what she said. Like, do you want to come? Are you sure? I just felt like these shivers. Like, shoot, something like this. I am done. I have to go. I don't know how to explain. And that's just next day, I was like, she paid me for my ticket. My mother gave me some money. My girlfriend back then started to get more money in a job. She helped me. And I was basically 2-3 months in Mauritius with Guruji. And I didn't have any money. It's insane.
You stayed for 3 months. Wow.
And I went
during
like
COVID, it was COVID period.
Yeah, that's basically we went in that time.
In quarantine.
There's a story which I cannot share for sake of public, but let's say that you could not leave the country back then. And I left the country. So I was creative and I did something completely out of the common sense, but I had this feeling I really need to go. And I did something crazy, but it was okay. And I felt Guruji protecting us all the way. So we got there, we were 2 weeks on lockdown because we had to be in a hotel for 2 weeks. And then what happened is we just had there, it was amazing, Mauritius, good weather, having fun, a lot of darshans, no masks. No masks. And there was a point basically where Guruji goes through me and he talks with me and tells me, oh, something like, nice necklace or something like this. Where are you staying? Ah, okay. And then he went. It was like, I was thinking, is he asking me where I'm sleeping because he wants to invite to stay here with him in his house? And I was like, no, I'm not gonna give time to this stuff because I was like back then not going to fantasies. I'm just gonna stick to my role. I accept it. But after some days, Nanda sends me a message. I'm not sure, maybe Guruji was suggesting you stay here. Something like very vague. And I told him, bro, this happened. I don't think it's a coincidence. Yeah. Then I go to Darshan, I show him a paper like, do you want me to stay with you? And he said, we speak after. We didn't speak after, Guruji left. And this was after 2 or 3 days. We were in the temple doing some seva, preparing the packages with the kumkum for the darshan and this stuff. And Guruji came out. I was like, oh, I feel like having something to eat. And I go out, and Guruji comes out in Mauritius. How does he come? T-shirt, some shorts like this flower, and he comes like to another direction. What's up? And my mind was so like destroyed. I was like, what am I supposed to say? I was like, you know, you see the Guruji the whole time like dressed properly, tilak. You don't have proximity with him, and he just does this. You just, I was like,
he felt like he was home. He was home. He was like,
and then it like out of mercy tells me, okay, come. And then we went to go with him. We went to visit a church, speak with a priest, which was like his friend or so on. Guruji very casual, speaking normally about Christian saints, and because he also has knowledge about this.
Yeah, he loves
and
all the saints.
Yeah, I was just there observing, shutting up with the people, like the very important people, you know, the people that are with Guruji. I was just there trying not to screw up. This was my mistake, my main goal.
Yeah.
And in the end, I remember we got back to the place and we were like, Guruji was staring in the door, speaking to some people, and I was like, okay, like an idiot looking there, not even thinking about what happened before. And it just clicks me in my brain. It goes inside and it just clicks in my brain. Oh, what if all of this is just an excuse so I can ask him if I should stay here? And it just clicked me again. And then he comes out again, and then I ask him, and he asked me why I wanted. I said, I want to serve you, I want to be with you here close. And he said, okay, you can come. But then I said, I don't have money and stuff. He said, don't worry with that, because of course you need to give money to donation, to support, to pay for the food and this stuff. And he said, you can stay. Of course, some days later, because most people were paying, the Mataji comes like this drama, you know. Everybody needs to pay today. Guruji said everybody needs to pay today because we need to pay bills and stuff like this. Sure. And I was like so stressed. I don't have money. And I waited for Guruji like to come out of the satsang because there was live streaming to ask him. And I was like stressed, and he comes to me, and I don't know how it happens, you know. There are so many desires I had back then, which I forgot about it. like you want to hug Guruji or you want to press his feet or whatever. And I don't know what happened in this place. This Guruji comes to me and he like hugs me. Then he starts to ask me, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And then he starts to like, I don't know, to like mess with me. Then he does literally this and starts to walk with me. And I was like feeling so natural, like it was always like this. And I was so struggling before to just, to speak with him. It was something, somehow I'm sitting and it's like, oh, my feet hurt. Can you press my feet? And then, as you know, like touching the feet of Guru is big blessing. And then I was thinking, if I think about this, in like some seconds I was hugging Guruji, walking with Guruji, pressing the feet of Guruji, and he was giving me advice. This was like in 10 minutes. And what does it happen? We were speaking, oh Guruji, because I'm trying to be dentist and I'm not being able. And he told me, oh, you don't need to be dentist. It's fine. And then he goes away. And I was like, feeling like an idiot, like what am I doing with my life for last years or 2 years, 1 year and now, feeling like crazy, like so much guilt. I was like, what do I do now with my life? Then he comes back after like 2 minutes. Of course you have to be a dentist. And I was like, because you have this quality, you need to do this. He gave me some instructions. And it was beautiful because somehow after these days, Guruji was painting and he was calling me to prepare the paintings. And of course he was giving me some love in his way sometimes. Like, I remember he sometimes asked me for some color and I don't give him the wrong color. Are you stupid? You think you're going to do this with a patient? Imagine you give the wrong instrument, you kill the patient. But I have to tell you, because I was not so many years, because I was like 3 years wanting to connect with him and I had time before to develop some appreciation, some knowledge, which is something we speak about today. When I was with Guruji, I had a different mindset. I was really aware of what I was saying, what I was doing. I was never losing my sense of who is in front of me. And that's why it was amazing, because I was so close to him physically, but I never lost the sense of who was in front of me. And this is why I really, until today, I really cherish these moments. Thank God I was not, some people pass time with him and they have this grudge. Guruji doesn't like me anymore. I never allowed myself to do it because if I do it, I'm like pooping on his gift. I need to appreciate. And was really amazing time. I spent time with him. I had challenging experiences where he just expanded my limits of what I thought. And in the end, I just see so many things change. Because when I came back to Portugal, I was not the same person. I was during these 2 weeks, and by His grace, I just felt this love, this connection I never felt before. I was so absorbed in being with him, thinking about him. A little bit like you'd think, it can sound strange, but like when you are in love with somebody, you think about being with a person, what is the person thinking, when will the person call me? And I was in this state, and it was just something natural. And I was not forcing it, it was. And when I left Mauritius, it kept for some time, then it went away, and still today I cannot go. I remember, but if I cannot be in that state, and this actually, I confess, is something that sometimes I struggle, because it was something so full. But yeah, this basically happened. I remember some funny things that happened because my girlfriend was paying the everything. I was like, and I was with Guruji one day, and I had this thought, oh, maybe I can ask Guruji to paint something for her, because then I can give her something, because I cannot repay. And I was like, no, this is too stupid. You're not stupid enough to do this. And I was just like, what the hell? And I asked Guruji, and he said, what's her Ishtadev? And okay, and after some days, Guruji painted actually something for her, and he gave her.
Wow.
And I was also allowed to keep a painting of him, which actually later I donated and it was auctioned for the Portuguese ashram.
Wow.
And yes, it was insane, the experience. And I asked Guruji back then, because I had awareness, we all both liked each other, we respect each other, but it was just not working. What we expected from each other was not gonna work. And I asked Guruji, because I had this awareness, should we marry? What is good for us? And Guruji again says, yeah, you should marry. And I went back to Portugal like with this thing, okay, dentist and couple life. So I went full for it. I did my best to be the best possible partner I could. Didn't succeed so much, I have to tell you. And we stayed together. Things did not go well. And I could communicate with Guruji, and Guruji is not going well. You have to try to be friends. You have to, because the friendship is the base of the relationship.
Definitely.
And it just was not working. It just got to a point when one day she understood, and I had a talk. Actually, I came forward and had a talk before some weeks. She had the same thing, and we just went different ways. And when I look back, in my life, in my experience, I don't say this is for everybody. I don't believe in my life there is space for Guruji and space for other person. And in my relationship with him, it doesn't work. Because what I experienced in Mauritius, I didn't think about the other person. I was just so full into it. And what I have to tell you is, since I became alone, let's say, I immediately had so much more focus in the sadhana, although it was not so easy. I have to tell you, it was really easy. If I look to it, my life was moving. I need to leave a house. It was flowing. It was such a big current. Then I need to change a house. I go to a house. Then I got a job opportunity in another city. I change city. Then this goes wrong. I go back to my place. Like a lot of stuff happening, like in the space of like 5 months or whatever, so quick. And I just never look back, like going. I just had to start to think maybe I could be brahmachari, because I tried this for 10 years or 11 years, I think 11, 10, something like that. I had a nice person with me. I didn't manage to do it, and I know it's because I expect somebody to be in a way it will never be. It's just God and Guru can be like this, and I'm not good with these things. I understood, and I was like, do I really want to repeat the mistake? Because for me, I felt it would be a mistake. So it started a little bit like thinking about it. I came to Just Love, and I remember we had like a speech, a talk, a satsang, where it was Mayoran, Swami Revati and Aniruddha, if I'm not mistaken. They were speaking about brahmachari life, marriage life, how is marriage life with Guruji. And I remember pretty much the talk was Mayura, which looked like a disguised brahmachari somehow. But he basically said that if you are in a commitment with God, basically, you always have a love triangle, where you have a relationship with the other person, but Guruji always comes first.
Yep.
Always. And my thought was like, okay, but why do I need to have a triangle if I can just have 2 points? What is for me even the point to start something, which I know, because when you are with somebody, sometimes you not think about Guruji first, you think about... I remember how it was, my experience which Guruji gave me was like going to IKEA. You had then to go to the dinner party of somebody. I was more focused on controlling the other person and all this stuff. But like, it's amazing, like I told you, Guruji prepares us these things. And there was these things happening. I became devotee, blah, blah, blah. And what happened is, like, in the beginning of that year, there was opportunity to become teacher of knowledge. So you become trainment to be able to teach people Bhagavad Gita and other things. And she told me about it. And I just didn't care, because I was like working, and it was like...
I'm a dentist, not a teacher of knowledge.
I just had too many things going on, and I was like focused on becoming a good dentist, and in the end I was quite competent. It didn't start, I can share a bit about it, because when I started I was basically 5 years without touching a patient. I barely knew again how to touch a chair. I forgot the protocols, but I was like, Guruji, I remember the first day I sat down there, and it took some months until I got it, and I just kept myself chill. I enjoy life. And then it came the moment, one opportunity in one company, which would be not the best one, because it was a bit aggressive, like remove many tooth and put implants, these kind of things. And I got up there, and it was like a miracle again, because what was the job? They were paying me, not amazingly, but the payment is bad. I was basically getting more than many people that start. I had a fixed salary, and I had like training to learn to put implants. So they basically got the guys that accepted, and they would teach you about implants, the theory with like classes. And basically, after 6 months, I was putting implants on people. I put 5 implants, and this is insane, because I started doing nothing. But I remember the first day I was like, I remember speaking with Guruji, I sit down somewhere and I say, you put me here, you need to fix this situation, you need to do it, because I don't know nothing about this. But it was not in a bad way, it was just sincere. My hands are your hands, I remember to say this. And it was like amazing, because every day there was like a challenge, a very difficult thing for me back then. And the patient would not be there, and because we were working like in groups, like many people, somebody would come with more experience to help me. Somehow things always arranged in a way where I could actually do it. And it was just, I could see it happening, like the patient would cancel or the things would not come. And I just remember I was so positive in a place so full of negativity many times. It was amazing just to see it. And this happened at the same time I was in the relationship going towards the end. And then I felt I changed the job goes bad. And I messaged Guruji about, and this was at the same time I asked about being brahmachari. And 1 week later I asked about the changing jobs. So we were asking, I asked Guru, I was here, and then I asked Swami Revati. And I spoke with him, and I kind of, okay, I don't have this strong feeling, I have the possibilities, I have the thought. It was a little bit like being devotee. And what happened is that I was like, okay, I'm going for it. Let's see.
Let's see what happens.
Let's go for it. If I say yes, I cannot screw up, but I was not feeling nothing transcendental back then, I have to tell you. I had the logical conclusion, I had experience, and a touch of feeling.
Okay.
A touch, a very little touch. And I spoke with Swami Revati, and he told me, it's fine, because you are studying to be teacher. The test for being teacher is easier than the test to be brahmachari, so you just need to do one test. So what did it click in my mind? Because she was pushing me to become teacher, to do this, because she told me something like, oh, this is amazing, you're going to learn a lot of knowledge, and I liked, like, I had interests, yeah? And I was like, okay, then this is the last day. It was like, you do it now or you don't, and I was like, okay, and she was like, and I did it like, without even knowing quite well what I was doing. And after some days, it comes out, I was accepted, she was not. And basically, when I start to read the email, you have a 6 months program, you need to study this, no Gita, this, I was like in complete shock, like, what have I done? Because I was working like 8 hours a day at least, I was like having 1 hour traffic, sometimes I would travel in another city, and it was a very stressful job. And I was like, wow, basically I was studying my lunchtime, like trying to do it in absolute stress. And what happens is I find out that I was basically preparing myself to be brahmachari without having a clue. And I was just what happens is then I asked Guruji, and he says, you can do the test and then we see. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna even go into this thing. I'm just going to study for the test, because Guruji sometimes says these things, so we are we sure about it.
Pushes you, yeah.
And I went for it, and as I went on the path, things start to build a little bit more. You start to get in touch with brahmacharis, and you stay with them, and you see something's different. And for me, it worked very well. And my job, as I told you, was not so good, because I changed job. He promised to pay me basically the same, and I would do the same number of implants. It was like a smaller place, so we'd have good working conditions, somebody with experience. You'd be like a human being treating human beings. This would be the best. Of course, in my other job, I never compromised. I always was what I needed to be and did what I need to do, and that was fine. And what happened is that I go to this place, and when reality comes, what am I doing? I just see him work, I'm counting shelves, making inventory, not working. I was like breathing for 2 weeks. I just flipped one day. I remember I looked to the guy like I was going to kill him. And he understood. In that day, he didn't come to the clinic in the afternoon and said he had something to do for me to treat the patients. I did it, it was fine, but yeah, things were not working, and they were not going to work. And I came for Just Love, and I asked Guruji, I remember, and I asked in a way like, this is happening, like waiting for him to tell me, because he told me I could accept and I didn't want to be rude, but I just went back to him being honest and asked again, this is not working, do I need to keep the job? So and Guruji many times doesn't answer because we are not clear in what we're asking. And he told me, you can do whatever you feel, but maybe you can come to Germany and work with Anshul. And I heard Anshul's story before. Guruji told me to become a dentist. He didn't take it so much serious told him to learn German, and he didn't listen. Later he basically dropped everything in his country and came here, and
started to learn German.
I heard enough stories. When Guruji says maybe you should do this, I know this means you should definitely do this. So as soon as he said this, because everything was fitting, I could see it. Like I don't have job. I'm finishing to be a brahmachari. I'm going to Navaratri, and I was like, okay, I can live in Germany. Learn in Germany. I drop everything. I go there. I live as a monk, and let's go. And I applied for a seva program, and I started in the garden, like we told. And I was eventually accepted, and I just came all in. I remember I sold my furniture. Imagine, I left my house to this other city, and I just made a rent contract, and I just finished renovating the house. And in this moment, I have the job, and I just drop everything. So I just wasted my time, let's say, almost 1 month. But it was good because I was again in this dynamic
At least you were clear. It all brought...
Not necessarily, but I repeated the same mistake a little bit. I want this obsession to buy the furniture, to finish the project.
Yeah.
It was there. But again, I was starting to see how much it was taking my energy away. And I was just, in the end, just gave everything away to my parents or whatever. And I went to this other place, and I was basically living in the temple house, which is the house of a devotee. And I didn't have so much back then. It was easy. It just... This happened, I passed the tests back then, and then I just, I had to talk with my mother. She understood, and she kind of asked me. And it was open, and I just came, I dropped everything, and I came just with clothes for some days, like 4 days, because I didn't want to have a second thing in my mind. I just came with clothes for 3 days, or 4 days, because after this it would be Navaratri and I would be initiated.
Okay.
So I was basically initiated as brahmachari. And it was scary, I have to tell you, because the initiation it was very funny. Guruji was with us. We were like 10 guys. It was like savage, but in a good way. And I cannot say I felt something specifically. I felt the responsibility. I felt like, okay, this is real now. But I have to tell you that along the next weeks, months, until now, I'm really sure it was the good thing for me, because there was so much change, there was so much thing that was removed from me. There were so much qualities inside that became stronger. There was so much more feeling of self-love, or I'm doing what I need to do. And basically I got here, and I came with very little money, and I struggled to find courses but eventually I found the state of Germany was paying a part, and I was paying another part, because
nice. For the language.
Yeah, Bhakti Marga was supporting me, and it was just enough to pay the course with the support. Then I needed to continue, because you need B2 and C1, which is quite high level. And then I was not being able to find it, and this devotee is supporting me actually today to do these studies. And it's beautiful, because I had this thing: you are a brahmachari, a monk, or you are working, or whatever. And this experience, it has been, I go out of the ashram, I have like a normal life at least half of the day, and I go back to the ashram, and I really appreciate when you come back. And every time I was like here with the mindset, only being a monk, it was amazing, but I could not enjoy it. So it was a little bit like I was not being dentist without asking, this kind of feeling. So now in this moment when I'm doing what I need to do, which is this German learning thing, going to the place where he takes the patients, and I speak German, and I give a hand, assistance, these kind of things. And I now go back to the ashram, and with time I got more and more responsibilities, like doing puja in the temple, music, seva, all these things. And there was more and more things to do, and somehow things always worked out, and they worked out always. And what I see today is, it's like this relaxed feeling that I'm just following the flow of life. I remember many moments where there was no money, and I just relax. I remember some weeks ago, this course I'm doing, for example, I didn't even speak with my boss back then, because I was like, okay, let's see. We were like 2 students in the course, and the minimum was 3. There was nobody coming. They were like, maybe we need to shut down the class, or maybe we need to do less lessons. And I was like, this feeling to ask Guruji or to ask the person, and just kept quiet. And I said, okay, if you want me to do this, you again arrange the things, because I don't have money, I don't have possibilities. So if I don't do it, it's because I don't need to do it. If I do it, it's because you do it. And I remember like 1 week or two later, like 3-4 people came to do the test, and one guy stayed there. And actually it's funny because the guy dropped his job. He's French, he came from America, and like he's vegetarian, I discovered yesterday. And he's like looking for it, and you start to see like things going on around you, and it's so beautiful to watch it. And yes, going to Wiesbaden every day, I used to go every day, now I go every 3 days a week. And going as a monk every day, like fully dressed, tilak, everything. And it's so amazing, because what I felt since I came here to Germany is that, especially since I became brahmachari, is that, you know, when you're a devotee, you're trying to take a certain identity, a certain, who I am is a devotee, trying to have this identity and to live it. But since I came here, I see Guruji provided me a place where I could actually do it. And I'm not a different person in a job or here or there, not that I was trying to be necessarily before. But here it's natural. I'm the same person here that I'm outside. Just by the simple fact I dress like a brahmachari every day. And when you get this confrontation, because people look to you, you see the face, it just becomes so natural in your own skin. And I'm so thankful I had this experience. Wow. Because I don't know if tomorrow I'm dentist, I don't know if tomorrow I'm here, I don't know nothing. But I know that this experience really brought me this feeling of, this is who I am, this is who I believe, and it just became so strong and so present. And yeah, man, sometimes life doesn't go so well and you have your challenges, but more and more I have this feeling when I sit by myself, and everything in my life is not important, but only thing I have real is this moment where I do my abhishekam, or I do my, this is that when I do my sadhana or whatever it is, when I'm connect. I have this feeling like this is the only real thing that I have in my life. And it's like this feeling inside. Basically, I didn't speak with Guruji since I came here. He spoke with me 2 times. And 2 times, guess what he spoke about?
Are you going to be a dentist?
Yeah, basically, yeah. The one time was like, I was like can we sit a little bit? Man, I'm walking, I ate too much. We should not.
You walk too much? This is what
I
you
ate
said?
too many potatoes. And now they are like, my stomach is like, how am I? And what happened is, what I was speaking about?
How Guruji talked with you?
Yeah, I was like, for this process, for some months, I was enjoying life in Ashram. I was like, do I really need to be dentist, or is something happening, like a process in the middle, so I can go somewhere else? And I was like, and I was really trying to do my best not to go to this craziness of my mind and to keep going. I always kept going and gave my best in the classes. One day Guruji was coming in the garden, I was going, he was coming, I was like, oh, I don't want to speak with him. And he was going this way, and I was going like on the other way. And he starts to speak with me. I didn't speak for a long time. And he asked me, are you working as dentist? And I said, no, I'm learning German, and I'm going to his place. I'm going to his place, and I'm doing. I'm not working, but I'm looking to him work because I cannot work. And he said, very good. And then he told me something, which was, that's exactly what I wanted you to do. And I remember some people were with Guruji, and they are with him many times, and they said, I don't think I ever heard him say something like that. And this was like I took it like my mind had no escape, because when he says like this, you know that. Anyway, in the end of the day, you are doing all this stuff. Why are you doing it? To please God, to please your Guru. So if he's pleased by this means that this is my sadhana in the end of the day. It was already my mindset, but this was like no chance.
I cannot twist it in my mind, because it's...
There's no way to create fantasy. There's no way, just that end. And after some months, like I don't know, 1 month ago, 2 months ago, I was in the kitchen and he said, oh, how is the German going? Again. And yeah, I could be like, oh, he only speaks about or whatever. But I really feel that if he's doing this, it's because I really need to go through this. For some reason, I don't need to understand that some karma, or this is going to give me money for something, or this is my dharma. I don't know what is the reason, and I don't think I need to know it, to be honest, more and more. I just feel that I'm sure that he's doing this for my best, and this is like very clear. And what I've been feeling, like I told you, more and more is like we just need to keep going, and as we get in sync and we really start to trust, and of course it takes this time, you just understand what you need to do. Like this German process, I kept following the flow. This is not working, I'll go there, then there. I never asked him about it. And sometimes I had the urge and I could ask him, I could get my phone and ask, but I really don't want to do it because I'm following the path that he gave to me. And if I believe, let's be honest, because we say so many times, oh, Guruji controls our life in a positive way, he's helping us, all this stuff.
He guides
but
us.
The minimum stuff we're gonna ask him. And I just was like, no, if this is really true,
I don't need to ask anything.
I don't need to ask.
Yeah,
it will come.
Totally agree.
And yeah, I was even checking stuff I asked him before. I was like, I will not ask it now. I understand why I did it. It was necessary. But what I feel really is there is no need to ask. If there is need to talk, he will create the situation. But until then, I have instructions from him to do.
Just do what I have.
I'm doing them. Until I do them, I don't need to ask something for now.
This is so healthy. This mindset is so healthy.
Yeah, it saves you a lot of problems.
Especially when you already committed to do this. I mean, once you become a devotee, and especially you become a brahmachari and you live in an ashram, you already committed doing this. So there's no need to have second thoughts or to check, or is it really true? And this is healthy, like you said it.
Yeah, I'm happy to have come here, and I'm happy to have come here in a stage in my life that I had some years as devotee before. And there's much suffering and much mistakes I saved myself from, because I didn't come with expectation to fix something. I didn't come with expectation that Guruji needs my seva, that I'm gonna make the music department amazing, and I didn't come with this. But I came with the feeling that I have a unique opportunity to be engaged in the service, to be engaged in the activity, in the lila to be part of the story, which is His grace to allow me to be here in this moment. And that's pretty much it. I'm just an actor going through here. I know that tomorrow, if I go away, somebody better than me will come, or for sure. It's not difficult.
Yeah,
How many guys were in my position here already? Countless. And what I feel is
things are organic and they change really fast, and no sense in making attachment or ties to something that is bound to change, because this is how Guruji is always changing stuff, always challenging us to go out of the comfort zone.
I would say more in the sense of I would agree with that as an overall observation, but in this point specific of the seva, when I came to the ashram, there's so many people that come to the ashram and they are frustrated and they don't enjoy their time here because they come with an idea of how things are supposed to be. I'm going to meet spiritual people, they will be perfect, they will be this, and I just didn't come at all with this bullshit. So I didn't engage in drama, I didn't engage in these things. I just came. This is my duty. Whatever is not my duty is not my job. I have people that will tell me what to do, I will do it. And I just tried the best I could to keep it, and I could mostly do it. When I didn't do it, I had some learnings from it. No, it's not so many, but I'm happy to basically to be focused on what I believe I need to be doing here. And it's so relieving because I don't need to look for friendships. I don't need to look to be friend of the Swami, to have this advantage or this. I just don't feel the need. I'm here and I'm doing what I need to do. And if something is required from me, I do it. If I can do something to give back within what is respect and what is the sense of community and what is the system that Guruji designed, I do it. If not, I don't. And that's it. And I don't need to fix anything. And what really matters is what's going. Oh, sorry, I'm attacking your microphone.
It's okay.
what really matters is what's going inside. And what I really felt is in Mauritius, I had this external connection with Guruji, not so much in this external sense of I'm hanging out with Guruji, I'm so cool, look at me, because it was not about that. Although those things also play sometimes. I had this really feeling of connection with him and spending time with him and being in sync with him somehow. And what I feel now in this stage of my life is a similar thing growing, but coming from myself, from taking responsibility, from the natural development of taking the path. And this is actually an expression of my strength, of my nature, because I just keep going and going. I know this is going to take me somewhere, going, and now I see that this took me somewhere, because so many people I know they are just stuck, and they had amazing experiences. How many people had like experiences that I thought I needed to have to develop more things, and they just left Guruji. How can somebody forget when somebody has a vision of God or something like this given by Guruji, to forget about it or whatever and to go out and work in pizza or whatever? It's like insane. How can you cannot understand this?
Yeah.
But I believe you can understand it if it's meant to be, number one, or if you just don't have the right base, if you don't have the right construction, the right building blocks. And I really see Guruji was removing from me things that were necessary in a very healthy way, because I feel super stable as much as I can, of course. My mind still, I still have difficult days like everybody has, but I have to tell you, I just don't give so much value to them. There's a day where specifically I'm not so positive, I don't know why. I just keep going. Next day I wake up, I'm fine again. And life keeps going, and you start to connect more and more and more. And I was in my nature still, I reflect on things. I think I can reasonably have a good discernment ability in what is good, what is like process to be done, what is it, how can we do this to be efficient. This is something I can do. But lately I've been finding myself acting in a very different way. Like, I'm not thinking about so much, I have the thought to do something or the feeling to do something, and I just go for it. And yeah, maybe I think this is the way I found my intuition, which was what I in the beginning was looking for, this feeling of intuition. And in myself, actually, I found it to be some sort of rational intuition. Let's say, I don't know, like we are playing a bhajan, and I have this feeling or thought, whatever. We need to go this way, or this person needs to be, or I don't know. Like for example,
Rational intuition. What
I don't
what
know.
an
It's
interesting
not like
concept.
a cloud coming, or like some days ago. I can share with you. I was starting to have interested to have my perfume, a nice perfume for me. I spoke with a guy here, which is Govinda. He is like very passionate. So I went to his room, and he was like, opens the drawers, like hundreds perfumes maybe, and he was like taking them out and testing them. I was like thinking in my mind, whoa, bro, this is maybe a little bit too much, you know? It's like okay, but I went with the process. I allowed myself to flow, and then I was like looking more about perfumes a little bit, and I was like, I bought some samples with him, and I just knew a little bit about perfumes enough. And I had some shaligrams, and I was already doing my abhishekam with natural oils for some time. And I had a thought, I found a really nice perfume I liked, and it was like 60 to 80 euros, something like this. And because I wanted to have a good perfume for darshan and for Guruji and things. And it came the thought in my mind, I can buy this perfume, or I can use exactly this money to buy some oils and start to do oils for deities. I don't know how it happened. Still, I don't know today. I just went like crazy, full, without thinking. I just bought these oils, and this is something actually a bit reckless, because you need to study about it, you need to know about it. It's not so easy. The probability of failure is huge. And I just went like crazy, and I started to doing them in a space of like 1 week. I was already selling some and having feedback, and after 2 weeks, I'm buying like 30, 25 new ones. And these things are going and going, and these people want. And then a devotee comes to me after 2 days. Oh, I really like your this thing. I'm gonna give you money. Whatever you need, ask me. I give you to buy what you need. And like this is how you start to see the hand of Guruji. You go in some direction and you see the doors opening. How can you be so stupid not to see it? You do something completely apparently crazy, And just people start to give you money, they start to give you feedback, they start to say, oh, maybe you can sell this here or there or here, and you just see it going and going and going. And yeah, it's insane. It's
But
insane, but
it's beautiful to have this mindset of putting yourself in that position of observing what is the path. If you see that small, okay, this, I see a clearance through the forest, I think I should go through this. And if you take that path, then everything aligns and you have all the support. If if you go in your mind and you say, yeah, but I should go on the usual path that I always go, because who knows what's out there. If you might miss that chance, you might miss that opportunity of doing something new out of your comfort zone, but it will lead you, like it led you here, for
I
example.
agree with you. And actually, as we were, I was kind of preparing my brain somehow this and the subconscious this talk, and I was thinking, yeah, I agree. We need to be open and be open to intuition and all those things, but I see that now I can somehow positively follow in a I think in a way that is aligned with the teachings of Guruji, to follow it, because I built some base, I got some knowledge, I got some experience. I'm also open enough to see the mistakes, to be the possibilities, to be open that I don't know what is good for me, I don't have the full knowledge, and I feel comfortable enough today to feel it, and I see, and it's a process that feeds itself. You get so much self-assurance, but because I firstly built something, and I firstly removed from my path what is not me. And what I sometimes feel is many people follow their feelings, but they don't have clue. They're just following their uncontrolled minds. And this is where I'll put a bracket in the conversation, because I think if you do your homework, which is basically take your responsibility, learn what the Guruji teaches you, you start to listen to the Guru in your life. And some days ago, I gave some satsang, and I had a feeling to talk about Dharma, and I really think that the Dharma, which is like your higher purpose, we don't need God to come from the sky, and this is not the most experience people will have. To be honest,
Yeah, for sure.
But what I think is, if you truly believe Guruji and God are, and you are devotee, and they are in every moment in your life, you are in every moment living your Dharma. You are every moment in your highest potential. You are in every moment.
Very good.
But at the same time, it's so grounded. I see the magic, but at the same time I don't see it, because it's just normal. Like sometimes it's so subtle. Like yesterday, I had an experience. I got some shivers. I think it was not on groundedness. Let's see, where my Tulsi is like sick for 3 months, and she has flies. It's a sacred plant, let's say. And I'm spraying her every 2 days, 3 days, one day. Sometimes I'm so tired I cannot manage it. And I was discussing with the devotee, like downstairs, what should I do, because when the good weather comes, if I put her outside, these flies will go away easily. But it's still too cold. It's like negative. It's like 7 degrees in the night. It's still too cold for her. And I don't know what to do. And then comes the children, and this children tells me something like, looks to me and says, "What are you waiting for?" and goes away. And like something hit me, because I took like half a second to make a connection. Yeah, and this children's name is Manjari, and Manjari is the name of the flower of Tulsi.
Yes.
And like when I don't know what to do, comes a children with the name of basically Tulsi and tells me, "What are you waiting for?" And I just freeze looking to the child. She goes away, and I'm like, okay, something needs to happen. And sometimes it's something so subtle. And I was wondering with this experience yesterday, maybe these things happened before my life many times, and I just was not listening.
You didn't have the knowledge, you didn't have the preparedness, like you said.
And yeah, you just
But Guruji even said this. He even said it. The you have that golden moment every day. You have that golden moment every hour, but we are not able to see it.
yeah. Yeah, this is the feeling I'm having more and more. Like, there's nothing to be fixed. There's nothing to be attained. Like, and what I'm finding, at least this was my current answer, when we speak about effort, we need to put our effort. I take it in the sense that we need to engage.
Yes.
We need to
Yes.
choose what to do with our time, and I think this is really the only choice we have, because
How you spend your time.
how you spend your time, and this will actually bring you somewhere else, because if you engage your time in sadhana and thinking about Guruji, naturally it will change. But I don't feel like we need to do an effort to change something wrong or whatever it is. Like,
Just to focus that energy in the right place.
sometimes we say spiritual talk, everything is right, yeah, and we take it in a way which I don't think is healthy. Sometimes it's just remove responsibility from the situations, or just gives you an excuse to act like you want in a reckless way. I don't mean in this way. I really think that I can observe both realities, so I can be in a situation where I know my duty is to do something because technically it's wrong. I mean, if you have to do like a music seva and you need to do music in a certain way, that is a certain way to play and sound nice. But how can you say this is wrong in a cosmic perspective? Maybe God wanted things to go wrong. So this is what I'm trying to say. Everything is eventually right. You don't need to fix the situation. You just need to take responsibility and understand, what is my role? When should I act? When should I not act? What is my action according to the principles of what Guruji expects us as devotees? And I think this is the whole game that we need to learn as devotees. And I think this is what really is connection with Guru and with God. It's not because it's a true expression of what it's real, it's practical. So I really feel this every moment. It's just how it needs to be, and you do your absolute best in this moment. Yeah, sometimes you're not gonna be feeling so inspired, and this becomes something more difficult to follow. But last experience I'd like to share with you, because I need to go practice for Navaratri, to be honest, because I was completely tired and I slept, and when you sleep too much, what happens is the time you could use for other things goes, and then you need to rush. That's life. That's why we need to prepare ourselves. I had a small experience some days ago, where something happened, which I didn't act technically in a good way, in a logical, worldly way, but inside I had the feeling I actually do the right thing, and I was in this conflict. And this thing took lot of energy from me. I was a bit lost. I even lost the bus, and some devotee went to pick me up in Wiesbaden. And I just got to the point I was so tired, and I recognized this tiredness because when I used to fight with my girlfriend, I used to get in this place with so little energy. And today, if I go to these places, I just get so tired. I just cannot handle it. It's not possible anymore. And I just got to this point, I was so tired, so drained. I just was like, I sat down in the main street of Wiesbaden in a bench, and I just got my japa mala. I said, I don't care, I'm gonna wait here, and I just did my japa. And it was such a relief. I don't know how to explain you. Everything shut down. I did my japa. In the end, I was like new person. And this thought popped in my mind, like I told you. I don't know what is real in my life, but I know for sure that this is the only thing it is real. And I experienced this one time, maybe this thought with Abhishekam. And yeah, this is, I think, how Guruji teaches us. We need to go through life. We need to go through this cold and hot, this kind of experiences, and then we really start to get sick of this, and we start to let go. Otherwise, how can it be sincere? It is not. And I think that if we are sincere, if we trust Guruji, if we respect the nature of who we are now, we are going to transform so much faster, and we will start to really reflect what Guruji expects from us. And today I feel really, sometimes, for example, I could say I'm here, I'm near Guruji, I'm Pujari in temple, sometimes, and people outside can think, oh, he's so close. But yeah, there's something going inside, the talk that goes inside. And I feel like Guruji is not bringing me to this relationship outside, so I really don't force. If he's with me in the place, I just sit down in a corner, I can enjoy his presence, but I'm not going to engage with him, because I really feel it's not my space, it's the time for other person. It's not my role, because the time I was close to him, he brought me to there. It was not my
This was not
It
your
just
choice.
His grace gave me a state where I was with him in this engagement. And many times I confess I even feel terror. I remember one time I was doing arati and Guruji was around. My legs were shaking. I was almost falling down, and I was so distressed. Like, we are doing these things to go closer to the Guru, closer to God, and you feel fear. Why am I feeling fear for my beloved? But I just accept the experience that he gave me. And some people even shared after, this means that you know who is there. And I don't know, it's a nice answer. I don't know if this is an answer, but whatever experience he's giving me, I gladly accept it, because I come to the conclusion he is my Lord, I'm his property. I have no saying, and I really say it honestly, as much as I can. And I really embrace what he's giving me. And if I take it fully, I need to accept everything in life he gives me and say, thank you for this experience. And the more we practice this, I really believe the more we become what he expects from us, the more we'll become like the saints that Guruji says that we need to become. And I don't believe this comes from looking for the experiences for the high.
For sure, yeah.
This comes from really doing it. Just do what he asks us. Don't do something else. Just do it. And you have so much things to do that he tells us. Sit down, put your butt in a pillow, and do japa for 1 hour. Don't move. He told me to do this. I didn't do it for like 2 years. I started doing it, and after some days I'm enjoying it so much. And it's so simple. I feel life is so simple. And just follow the process, and you'll see yourself acting automatically somehow in a way where Guruji starts to go through you, and you feel it, you observe it, but at the same time there is not so much proudness about it. I don't know, everything in your system is clear. I don't know how to put this. I don't know how to put this feeling out. And many times, of course, the ego comes and puts itself in the way. And I know there are so many things inside which are not motivated by serving him. I actually think 99% of it are just, there's always a place where your ego can find it. And I think this is very important also to be humble, to understand the power of Maya and the power of your ego. Like, you are serving, in 1 second you are serving yourself. You are singing a kirtan. You just need one thought. I'm singing so well. Someone tells
my
me.
My voice is amazing.
I'm
I'm hitting every note.
It just need. This happens so many times, and
for sure.
I also learn to befriend my mind and say, I don't care what can I do. I can sit here, and I can choose to continue to serve, and he will handle my mind.
Yes.
And this is the only answer I think we have, because otherwise it's so much drama, so much energy, so much.
Yeah, wasted energy basically.
Just do it. Just be there and do it, and you see it will change you. So that would be my Nike moment.
But it's
just
amazing.
do it, bro. Because if you can have many possibilities, but the only thing it stays in the end of the day is, are you doing what you can? And but
Doing
not in the sense of I have to change, I have to be this. That's why we're speaking about effort.
Also, Swami's running around.
Yeah, we got some blessings.
Just do it, and he really has Nike.
Yeah, he has
Nike
Nike
shoes. Yeah, he has Nike
So you
shoes.
see, God speaks with us.
Amazing.
God speaks with us in so many ways, and
I like
at the end
how-
of the day, we can listen, not listen, or we can believe or not believe. How can we know if this is a miracle or not? It's not our choice. It's my choice. Am I living a great dementia experience? I don't know, but I feel so happy. I feel so ingrained what I am somehow, and yeah, I'll keep going. Sometimes it's not comfortable, but after this feeling, how many more possibilities come? Like this year, like you are actor,
Yeah.
and Bhavani threw me the role of like not leading, I would say not leading, but pretty much playing the harmonium and big responsibility in the music. I was so out of my comfort zone, like so out. I was experiencing terror every day for 2 weeks. But when she told me, I was like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And the more this year, I said many times, let's do it. And so many things I learned, and this was an amazing experience. Like so many things open in your mind. And this would be just I would say my last words. Just do it and trust Guruji, because things will go there where they need to go. And second point is be open to be more than you are right now. And that comes along with doing it, but just be open, just go out of your comfort zone, just accept a little bit more, because then this blockage, this fear just goes away, and you become so much more of use to him, which I think is something we can all do.
And the changes happen, like you really see the transformation. It happens so organically, it's nothing forced, and you can enjoy the process, bro.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, you just enjoy the process.
Something that for me helped, I don't know if it's called help me, but it's something that has going in my mind, let's say. I don't know if it's true or not, it's been my feeling, is that it's connected with this thing. There's nothing to achieve, let's say, by itself, because I more and more, like, we have this mindset, we need to do puja, we need to transform, this is a way to do it. But the more and more I'm coming to a space where I just feel this is my nature. My existence in this planet is to do puja, is to be in this altar, is to be singing for God. And like a lot of stuff happens in the middle, but it's not about the effort. It's just I wake up and I naturally want to serve my deities, because it got to a point where it's just natural and I want to do it. And I feel
something feels off if you don't do it.
No, I don't even put the possibility. It's just who I am, simple. And if you feel you're not that, this means that in your mind there are still things that you need to look into it, to not be in the conflict. And once you remove the things you don't need anymore in your room and you clean it, there is room, once of course you stick to the process that Guruji gives to you, you will start just naturally to be and to express who you are, and you'll just want to be with him. You'll just start to love him, and you'll start to want to do your puja. And it's no longer an effort. It's no longer I need to do this because it's good for my spiritual advancement. You just want to serve him, and you start to forget about it. And when I think about the biggest breakthroughs I had, were mostly, of course I can look back and see changes, but I really don't think at all I need to change this, I need to become this. No, I just do, and somehow things express themselves from inside, from him, I don't know. And I don't feel the need to think about I need to change this. Of course I observe, of course I do my best, but I really believe that only by his grace, first of all, we can change. We just give our time to him in the sadhana, in our practices, and then something he does, I don't know what. And yeah, that's it. And this expression of this true nature which we are, and we always were, is the soul. What is there to achieve is difficult, but there's some things which we are not, and I think we need to find out what we are not, and then this starts to come from somewhere, and it's something so subtle. You cannot put into words. Like if I think about my life in a logical way, man, I'm crazy person, you are crazy, we are crazy, but we know that this is the most sane thing we are doing. And this is something I would like to finish with, if you agree, which is, you need to experience this change. You go through the process, and
just do it.
the way you experience life is so beautiful, it's so different. That's the answer itself.
Amazing conversation, bro. I enjoyed every second of it, and I truly wanted to have you on this podcast, because you have this such a simple and healthy perspective. No complication, no big philosophies, just the how you ended now. You just have to do the things that you have to do. That's all you have.
What do we know?
Yeah, you don't complicate.
Like,
you don't
you read the whole scriptures.
Yeah.
And God is like this and has 4 arms. Okay, we do it. Guruji tells us, and it's important for us to know it.
Of course.
But in the end of the day, we are just 2 fools speaking about something we don't know.
Exactly, and you have no idea.
But we know this reality. We know the sadhana. We know Guruji.
Yeah, I know I have to do my.
We know this.
And that's clear.
It's clear.
And do that.
And you know the love that comes from it in the end. Like
exactly, because you have that experience at the end. You know that it's good for you. You see the change, transformation. Totally agree, bro. Totally agree. Fantastic conversation.
Thank you for the opportunity. I hope I spoke a lot.
You spoke a lot. Yeah, you spoke a lot. Yeah, but you spoke with meaning. You spoke with. This is the purpose of the channel. This is why I do this long format, because I want to give the opportunity. I don't cut, I don't edit, because I want to give the opportunity for. I want to give the opportunity for people.
No
to,
filters.
Yeah, to
Only
really,
the camera editing.
really, not even that, not even that. And I
Oh,
wanted
amazing.
to put filters that, but then I said no,
Nice.
just because you're gonna see. And there were some beautiful and amazing moments while we were sitting here, of when you started talking about Tulsi and about that experience with Manjari, and the sun just came up. Literally, it came up, it lit everything. Swami Keshava running, he's one of the future guests. Like this type of small coincidences that happen, and Swami Keshava is going to be our future guest, and we're talking Just Do It, and he's wearing Nike shoes.
Let's go, bro. We need to go for
like the
Navaratri.
old people. Yeah, we're celebrating Navaratri now.
I had a small experience which popped in my mind with Guruji. I can share, but this is the last one.
The last one, of course, is the last one.
Because I don't have so many miraculous ones, I would say. This was like a miracle one, but not miracle. Because in this Mauritius time, when I was spending time with him, it was amazing. And I remember one day, like, time stops, Guruji face changes. And I have this feeling like you have God in front of you, and he tells you, and Guruji told me, what can I give you? But like, the feeling was like, you feel like the air changes, it's like heavy, everything stops, and you feel like wherever you ask, he's gonna give you. Yeah. And I have this shiver, this feeling like, and that's why I tell you, it's only by his grace. I remember I told him, I don't want nothing, Guruji. Like, I'm here with you every day. I'm spending time with you every day. This is like what every devotee wants. I don't want anything. And then it just, Guruji sometimes gives some rings. You know how it is. And he gives me one. And it just is in my hand. Is this ring right here?
Wow, this is a special ring.
Yeah, it's an arm. Arm's not focusing. But yeah.
Yeah.
And he gave it to me. I put it in my finger and my life was on. And I just, another wish I had, let's say. And what I felt in this moment was like, it's not about these things. He sometimes gives us these things, so we get enough interest in the path, and we feel the progress. But what I felt in this moment, and what I told him, is like, I don't want nothing from you, is be with you. And it's a little bit the journey I've been doing inside. This is like the true answer, right? You know, that this is making sense for you. It's like when you have these moments, and it's like, I don't know how to explain, but it was a very special moment where I really had this feeling something divine is in front of me. I didn't see nothing. It was just a feeling. It was a feeling, and it was like moment, let's say. So keep going. You'll
Stay
get there.
grounded. Stay grounded. Walk straight towards God.
If you need help, you just dig a hole in the forest and you put your your feet there.
Walk barefoot. Do whatever you need to do, but just stay grounded.
No, but you'll get there.
For sure.
It's His grace in the end. What do you learn?
It's consistency, bro. It's consistency on the path, discipline, and just do what you have to do. Don't complicate your life.
And meet Guruji if you didn't before.
Yeah,
maybe there is something in your life, even just something small, and just His presence can help you to overcome that, and so you can find a direction in your life. So I think at least somebody, if can, and if you're a devotee, don't be shy and share Guruji with the world, because this is who you are, this is why He's here, and yeah, His love is for everybody, and it's what we are living is so beautiful. And I think, yeah, that's the seva we need to do. We need to put it out and give it a chance. It's an option. Put it out and
see what happens.
You never know.
Yeah, you plant the seed. Plant the seed. So, very good conversation. See you next time. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Okay.
Jai Gurudev. We have to do the closing.
Wait. We have to close it. We have to close. Om Shanti 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 Shri Romyo Namaha Hari Om Satguru Swami Vishwananda Mahaprabhu Ki Jai.
Amazing.